During a high school class project, my teacher told me it's unrealistic being a CEO. It's been my dream to be a CEO since I was 10, so I told her it is realistic. Follow me on my journey to learn what it takes to become a CEO. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Realistic CEO podcast. Today I'm here with Scott. How are you doing today, Scott?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So thank you for allowing me to interview you today. So I appreciate you taking the time.
It's my pleasure. It's our pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. So the first question I want to ask you is, can you tell us a little bit about what you do here at Conval?
Yep. I am the president of a valve company that makes different styles of valves for the nuclear power industry, for commercial power industry, for fertilizer, for pulp and paper. So our valves are made for high temperature, high pressure steam applications, very difficult characteristics of piping systems.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey to how you got to where you are today?
I've had a long journey that's had a lot of people involved. I've been privy to designing 5 different nuclear submarine projects, as well as an amphibious assault ship. So I've had the luck of working on Virginia class, Seawolf class, submarines, 688 class, LPD-17 amphibious assault ships when I was younger. And I've had differing varying degrees of leadership roles at different factories, at different valve manufacturers. I've been a sales and engineering leader. I've been a VP of engineering, a senior quality manager. I've been a manufacturing leader. So all of these different departments and all of these different roles and all of these different leaders that I've worked for have groomed me for this position.
So throughout your years of working on submarines and ships, how were you able to take those experiences to where you are today?
Every different position has led me here. Designing ships and working with their crews allowed me to gain knowledge of how to interact with people. Then different positions of leadership, engineering, quality, sales, manufacturing. And those people that developed me and spent the time to teach me about all the different idiosyncrasies of running a company, those people were instrumental in allowing me to get to this position.
So like you said, you had a lot of people that helped you. So how important is making sure that you find a mentor that is willing to help you learn?
Very important. Whether it be an engineering leader, when I first got to Electric Boat as a 22-year-old engineer, I had a 55-year-old mentor who sat next to me who taught me how to learn and how the different submarine systems and designs interacted. When I got to Crosby Valve, I had a wonderful engineering leader. I had a wonderful manufacturing leader that taught me a fantastic work ethic. Portland Valve, I had the best plant manager who became like a father to me. Mm-hmm. He's almost like a second father who I still run things by, and it is back from 2007 and 2008. So different roles. When I got to General Electric and had the luck to travel the world, circle the globe numerous times, I had a younger mentor that taught me all about different aspects and different cultures. China, Malaysia, Singapore, Italy. That younger mentor taught me how to circle the world and how to work with different cultures to be able to get what you need done. And he meant the world to me. So I've had significantly different mentors in different companies that have allowed me to get to the position that I'm at. And I'm hoping my job here, and I tell this to every one of my leaders, my job is to do that same thing and to repay the favors of the Nathan Brunels, the Ernie Robios, the Frank Kangs, and the Chuck Kellers. My job is to develop the leaders of the future here.
So when you first started as a 22-year-old engineer, did you ever think that you'd be a president of a company?
I wanted to be. I didn't know if I'd ever get there. there were different sides to this transformation of this path. My wife and family have been a significant part of that. We have moved from Rhode Island to Massachusetts to Maine to Massachusetts to get to this position. So while I have some significant mentors in my life, my family has been there as much as I could to help develop me into this role.
So as a leader, what are some important characteristics that you need to have to make sure that you are a good leader?
I think you need to have, and my engineering director will laugh at this, but you need to have empathy, and you need to get to know your people. Who is going to be your shining stars? Who is going to be there? But you need to be able to recognize all the different traits and all the different aspects that every individual employee brings to the table. I introduced you to Joe. I introduced you to Will. Knowing how all these people work together, Joe's strengths and weaknesses, my own supervisor's strengths and weaknesses, to get to know your team and be able to generate your team to get to a common goal of being a successful business.
So speaking on me being able to meet Joe and Will today, I've noticed that when you were talking about them, I seen like how you're able to make sure that they felt appreciated. And when you were talking about both of them, they kind of like had like a very like bright smile on their face after you're able to make sure that you were showing them that you've seen the work that they put in to get to where they are today. So
they work, this team here, I never consider myself in charge. I consider myself responsible for this organization. So every single person is in charge of their tasks. I happen to have the head task, so I'm responsible for everyone. But I am just a cog in this whole company. So when you have really good employees, it makes life easy. It makes my job easier by having good, trained employees that care. And when I introduce you to Joe, how he's developed from a utility worker all the way up through running some of the most difficult CNC machines that we have, that is a proud moment for me. I didn't do it, but Conval was able to do that for him, and he's able to have a successful life outside of here. He's got a very good family, and that's what we all want.
So how are you able to make sure that you're finding people like Joe to work for you?
The interview process in today's day and age is very difficult. As of late, we've had multiple hiring events here. We've had a hiring event at the Basketball Hall of Fame with Springfield Hire. It's not, the items that we manufacture is not easy. So the interview process takes time. We need to fully vet our employees to make sure that they will pass all of our tests, our qualifications, to make sure that they're making the proper material for our customers. Because the customer, the application that these valves go into, it is life or death sometimes. So we need to ensure that our product is second to none.
So you said that you are the head of the company, but you don't want like your employees to feel like they're like don't belong or what. It's like, how are you able to make sure that you build an environment to where they feel welcome and they feel like they're a part of the team as well?
You lead by example. There are times when I'm out in the shop breaking down boxes to be recycled. There are times when I'm out in the shop to close up a valve and attach a hand wheel to a valve before it ships, because our assemblers are too important. They need to build and test. Breaking down boxes or putting a hand wheel on a valve is an easy task. I try to get out there just to show I lead by example, so we can all meet the end goal. So yes, I am responsible for the company, but no job, I'm not afraid to do any job in this facility. I want to do a job that I'm qualified for. I am not going to go out there and machine a valve body. I am not going to go out there and machine a bonnet. I'm going to go out there and make a nameplate. I'm going to go crush a box. I'm going to go move a pallet jack. But I'm not going to go out there that do something that I'm not qualified for. So everyone has a role, but if I can assist doing any job in the shop, that's how I want this entire team to know that no job is beneath you for the betterment of the company.
So as an engineer, like what is some advice that you would give to a young person that wants to become an engineer in their future?
Engineering can be a very difficult position to get through initially. When I was your age, I went to the University of New Hampshire, and during my orientation, the assistant dean said, look left and look right. They will not be there in 4 years. I started out with 125 engineering majors. I graduated with 25. She was right. It's when you want to be an engineer, you get through the tough stuff, and then it's on-the-job training. Listen. The biggest thing you can do is listen, and not be arrogant, and be humble, and learn. Nothing, no task is too small. No task is too minor. If you listen, doing the smallest task is the basis for how to become a great engineer. Be able to communicate. People say I don't act like an engineer, which is a compliment to me. I can communicate with you. I can communicate with our customers in China. I can communicate with our channel partners in the United Kingdom. So getting through your engineering school, listening, learning, doing everything that you're asked to do, everything has a reason. Being able to communicate, you can be a wonderful engineer.
So why is listening important to become a great engineer and to be a great leader like yourself?
To learn. Every day I learn. I'm going to learn something from you today, Mike. I'm going to learn something from your father. I'm going to learn something from my machinist, Joe, who I introduced you to. I'm going to learn from my receiving clerk out there. Every day I learn. If you listen and you're humble and you accept the fact that you don't know everything, and again, as I told you, I learn every day. If you accept the fact that you can learn every day and learn from anyone, I think that's how you become a great employee and a great leader.
So why is being able to learn important as well?
Because you don't know anything. You don't know anything. When I graduated from the University of New Hampshire, I was a 22-year-old degreed engineer thinking I knew everything. And my first day at Electric Boat, I knew nothing. And I wasn't allowed to do anything for 6 months. So listening and learning and doing every minor task gets you to be a better employee.
So you said when you got your first job as an engineer, you thought you knew everything. So how are you able to shift your mindset from thinking you know everything to, yeah, I'm willing to learn?
When you realize you don't know, when you're tasked to do something and you can't do it without the assistance of others, and others spend their time and their resources to teach you what you need to do. That's a big deal. Being a mentor, we're going to come back to being a mentor. Being a mentor, being a helper is the biggest thing a person can do, an experienced person can do, is to just work to develop the next leader who succeeds you. My job here is to make the company as successful as possible and train my leaders to take over for me for when I retire. So that's how you can do all that. So listening, learning, and developing the future leaders is what it's all about.
So if somebody wants to become the president of a valve company, what is some advice that you would give to that person?
Listen, learn, communicate, as we've discussed before. Everything I've done breeds success. When I was at Electric Boat, I did not know how to design valves. I knew how to design a submarine, but not a valve. When I went to Crosby Valve, my boss, Rob Sherman, taught me how to evaluate porosity. He taught me how to design valves to certain specs, how to read Electric Boat specifications and understand them. So, listening, learning, and mentoring all go hand in hand to assist you with that. So that's how I believe you can do it.
So when you first started your working here, how were you able to make sure that the people that work here felt welcome? Because when you were new, oh my God, I just messed up my whole sentence. Okay. I forgot I was going to say no. Okay. So when you first got to Conval, how were you able to make sure that the people that were working here before you knew that you were serious and really wanted to help the company?
Listen and learn. Never make immediate changes. The former president before me had been here for 27 years, and they had a certain culture. So when I got here, he was still here for weeks and months. All I did was listen, learn. I created a couple meetings to see how everyone was answering everything. I started to see how shipments were being made, and I got to know everyone. And, you know, going in, being humble and listening to people. Joe's family that we spoke about. Glenn Gautieri is my director of manufacturing. I know that he's getting married and I'm going to his wedding. Ethan Hill is one of my assembly techs. I know that he lives with his brother, and his brother also works here. Getting to know the individuals, getting to know the employees, letting them know that I'm not changing anything. And what I do is I lead them to change. We've changed a lot. When I go to see my customers around the world, they don't call it Conval. They call it the new Conval. We make customer satisfaction being number one. I call it best-in-class customer service. We didn't always necessarily work from the oldest, latest order to the newest. We worked to what we could do. The customers would get their valves when they got them. Now we literally work from the oldest order to the newest order to ensure that if we're late, if we happen to go late, those customers know that they're going to get best-in-class customer service. They know that they can contact me at 2 a.m. if they're in China. If it's 8 a.m. in the United Kingdom, if they have a problem, they can always reach out to me. They have my direct line. They have my direct email. They can text me. They can call me. But we want to learn. I want my team to know we are about best. It's all about this best-in-class customer service. And that's what we're achieving. And that's why our customers and our partners, our channel partners around the world call us the new Conval. So that's how we've done it.
So in the book, Tony, he talks about the LBW, the long, lonely, born work. So can you tell me a little bit about your journey and how you're able to do the LBW to get to where you are today?
The long work is my wife and family. I've missed a lot. I have missed a lot. At Electric Boat, I worked normal shift hours. When I got to Crosby, there were times I worked 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. building valves during the last week of the month. It's kind of tough to be a coach. It's kind of tough to be a fan of your children when you're working 14, 15, 16 hours a day the last week of the month to ensure that you're making your numbers for your publicly traded company. I've asked my family to move 4 times. So, you know, when I left Crosby in Massachusetts, we moved to Maine at Portland Valve. Then we moved from Maine to Western Massachusetts. We were in Eastern Massachusetts before, so now we're in Western Massachusetts. So my children and wife came kicking and screaming from Biddeford, Maine to Wilbraham, Massachusetts. So the long road has been tough on me and my family to get to this point. I lived for 4 months in a hotel in Saco, Maine when we moved there. I lived for 7 months in a Sturbridge Host Hotel when we moved from Maine to Western Massachusetts. And my wife was a vice president at the YMCA of Greater Springfield. She would be here with me, and our children were being taken care of by a nanny and a friend. So there have been a lot of differences, long hours, hours in hotels, hours away from family. I've missed, my kids went to Minichog. I've missed Western Mass swim events, Western Mass softball events because I've been on planes flying to Malaysia, to Singapore, to China. So there are sacrifices that you make, that you have to make sometimes to get to a level that I'm at. So it is a hard, lonely world and a long work to get there. But I think this is the last move. I'm here to retire, and my family is here, and they love it here. So I think this is the end, and I think we've made it. But it was a lot of work and a lot of being away from family, from friends, from home to get to this point.
So when you come into work and you might not be like in the best mood, like how are you able to make sure that you're still going to have a productive day?
You have to fake it till you make it. And you have to, there are times when you literally have to change yourself when you come in the door. If you're negative, it feeds negativity. So yes, if I'm having a bad day, I have to turn it on and I have to change and I have to say, and my CFO and my VP of finance, he's really good at keeping me grounded to ensure that I am putting my best foot forward. I am the company's biggest cheerleader. Again, I am not a machinist. I am not an assembly tech. I cannot test valves. I can do everything else. I can design them, but my job is to be the biggest cheerleader, to grow our business. And I think we're doing it. We've grown significantly since I've gotten here last January. And so when you recognize that you're in a bad mood, you recognize what you need to have to put your best feet forward. So you have to literally become almost two-faced. You have to put that bad mood aside, come in with a smile, say good morning to everybody. I will always walk through the shop every morning to say good morning to as many people as I can. Why? Because I think it means the world to me, and I think it just helps with morale. I can't tell our customers that we want to provide best-in-class customer service if I can't provide best-in-class customer service to my team. So that's how we do it.
Yeah, I noticed that when we were walking around, you were greeting everybody with a smile.
I tried to.
Yeah, and I noticed that when you did that, I seen like their face sparkle a little bit when anytime you interact with somebody. So I did notice that. So like, how are you able to make sure that even when you have a bad day, you're going around still putting a smile on your face and make sure that the others don't feel the negative energy?
Because we're here to support our customers. We come to work to support our customers. Some of our customers pay in advance. If I'm paying in advance, I want quality product. We have to recognize that our job here, our life is outside, but while we're in these walls, our job is to provide that best-in-class customer service. So I have to say, look, guys, put your best foot forward. We can joke about this or be in a bad mood when we leave here. But while we're here, we got to get our job done. We got to produce a quality product. These things are going into nuclear power plants. They're going into coal-fired power plants. Thousands of PSI, thousands of degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. We need to ensure that we put our best foot forward so that we put our best quality out there. If our valves fail, it can lead to a catastrophic event. So we need to always, always, always put our best foot forward, do our best job, ensure that we're putting a quality product around the world. China, Malaysia, the UK, South Africa. We need to ensure that we're putting a quality product everywhere because somebody's life depends on it.
So how are you able to make sure that you are developing quality products so that the people don't have to deal with the negatives?
We have 10,000, if we have one, procedures to ensure that our products are correct. Purchasing procedures, design specification procedures, requirements for our vendors to review and provide objective quality evidence. Our machinists, I showed you around our coordinate measuring machines, our tools. So between software, paperwork, and hardware inspections, and design specifications, and our procedures, we're using all of these checks and balances to ensure that our products are correct.
So how important is networking when it comes to making sure that you're finding the right clients?
As it's as strong now as ever. We have so much competition. In the power industry, we are a small company. Conval is 75 people strong, and we're in a very expensive environment to manufacture. This is not China. This is not Houston, Texas. We need our networks, our channel partners around the world, our regional sales managers around the world. Myself, I travel around the world. I need to network with all of our customers to go into power plants such as Drax Biomass Facility in the United Kingdom, to go into nuclear power plants in South Korea, nuclear power plants in South Africa and India, coal-fired power plants in China and Turkey. We network globally on a daily basis. So that's how important networking is. If you don't know a person at a coal-fired plant in China, or a combined cycle plant in Dallas, Texas at Forney, you're not going to be able to sell your valves into those plants. So networking is instrumental. We have regional sales managers in Texas that have contacts in Florida, in Michigan that can help get in there, across Iowa with corn. So networking is extremely important in our business.
So when you're networking, how do you make sure that your customer knows that they're going to get the quality that you are saying that you're going to provide?
We spoke about when I gave you the tour that we have a nuclear end stamp, that we're ISO 9001, that we have our PED credentials. Those procedures and those audits prove that our hardware is correct. But until your hardware goes in and you solve a problem, that's how your customer knows. We have an application in Huntington, Utah, for a high pressure steam application for coal-fired power plant. It needed a valve there for their inerting system. Their inerting system hadn't run in 10 years. We were able to network with our channel partner in Salt Lake City, Utah. We built them a valve, one valve. They needed 10. We built them one valve to help try to solve their problem. I went there when they installed it, and they turned the system back on after 10 years, and it worked perfectly, Mikey. That is how you get it. The order is being processed for 9 more, and these are 6-figure valves. So this is a wonderful way that we can prove to our customers, A, best-in-class customer service, but B, Conval and its engineering staff and its manufacturing staff are problem solvers. Their inerting system, which is a safety system in a coal-fired plant, hadn't been used in a decade. Now they're going to be using that system going forward.
So when you are trying to solve problems, like how are you able to make sure that even though the company might kind of have like a little problem that you got to figure out, like what are some ways that you're able to make sure that you get the problem solved?
Teamwork. Teamwork. You never, ever, ever, ever design in a vacuum. A lot of people think engineers just sit at their desk to design. That's not how I roll. I've never done it. I learned it at an early age at Electric Boat. Everything is teamwork. Engineers, designers, planners, manufacturing technicians. We do the same thing here. When we have a problem, we'll have meetings with sales. We'll have meetings with inside sales engineers. We'll have meetings with our design engineers, our manufacturing team, our materials team. Can we get the material that engineering wants to use? So we all get together to work together to come back to our customer and say, we have a solution to your problem. The first step, obviously, is to learn about the problem. Then our regional sales staff, our channel partners will bring that to us. We will all get together, have meeting after meeting to discuss it, take actions from those meetings, come back and come up with a solution from from an engineering, a technical, a manufacturing, a materials, and a sales standpoint. Can we do this in time to support their needs? So again, cross-functional. It's all about the team. There's no me here. There's no I here at Conval. It's us. It's we. Everything that we do is a testament to the teamwork that this organization has.
So from when you started last January at this position, like what has been your favorite moment so far?
Oh, every day I have a favorite moment. Every day I have a favorite moment. You know, seeing the culmination in Utah was one of my favorite moments. Seeing the valve open and shut was the biggest deal, and not allow steam to bypass the valve, and showing all the other valves in the system that hadn't worked in 10 years failing. Our valve was tight. We had solved their problem. Years. We had a regional sales manager that discovered this problem. He got cancer, but he was there that day when we turned the valve and we turned the system on, and it worked. And they said, we're going to buy 9 more. Scott has since passed away. But to see him in that coal-fired plant on that day, having solved a problem that many valve companies were not able to solve, that was a testament to the engineering, a testament to the materials, a testament to the manufacturing, a test to the procurement team, because there was a big actuator attached to it. But that was one of my best days. Every day is a good day here. I have so much fun at my job, but that was one of, if not the best day, was seeing that valve work, and seeing years of design and development come to fruition and for it to work in that one application.
So what has been something that you've learned that coming into this job you didn't really think about?
Just, how one culture can be changed and so quickly. The former president did things his way, but this team, everybody outside of this office, Mikey, has been receptive and open to change. And the more we change, the more they want to change. That's been nothing short of spectacular to see people that have been here 35, 40 years say, oh, okay, we're going to do that. We're going to have our first Conval sponsored Kaizen event for manufacturing engineering. Haven't led one personally here without some sort of assistance from the outside. We're holding one next month. But they are so receptive to change, so receptive to doing things a little differently than they've done since 1967 or before. That's been such a great thing to see and to learn, their ability to accept change, accept ideas that I bring out. It's never mandated. It's always a team decision. But to be able to see the team recognize, oh, that's not a bad idea. Okay, how do we change it? How do we make that happen? For them to come through and make the changes, to have parts being machined faster, have parts booked faster. It's been wonderful to learn and see, and that I've never seen that as much as I have here in the last year and a half.
So you talked about family and how sometimes, like how you were busy a little bit and couldn't make some of the events. So like, how are you now able to balance work and family time?
I make time. I force time. I'm lucky in that my son is now a surgical physician assistant at Holyoke Med, and my daughter is going to be a doctor of physical therapy. So they don't have as much as they do, as they did when they were younger. But they both knew that I only did it for the betterment of our family. And, as you progress through a management chain, engineer, supervisor, manager, director, VP. It was always done for them and as a betterment for our family. And looking back with a 25-year-old and a 23-year-old and them saying, it wasn't bad, Dad, thank you for doing that. It makes it worthwhile. But now I try to get out more. I try to work from home more. COVID, when you were younger, COVID changed a lot of the world. General Electric, when I worked for them and traveled the world, they're at the forefront of HR. Before COVID, I was working from home whenever I wanted to. Now I was able to take that, work through COVID, and I can work anywhere. So now I get in at between 5 and 5:30. I'm out between 3:30 and 4. Granted, I'll work at home, but I'm home. So if my kids are home and back from where they live or back from school, I'm able to spend much more time with them.
So the final question that I want to ask you is just going to be, I want to know one fun fact about yourself that nobody really knows about.
I am a closet Deadpool fan. My wife laughs at us, but my son and I, not many people know, but my son and I, if a song comes on from the first Deadpool, I will actually call him and say, this song is on. A song from Wham came up, sung by George Michael, and I'll call my son when it happens. And it's just such a fun movie. We make Deadpool cracks all the time at dinner, but there are not many people in this world that know that I'm obsessed with Deadpool. But that's one fun fact. And the new movie is great. The new movie is huge, so it's been fun. So yes, I'm a closet Deadpool fan.
Thank you for allowing me to interview you today, so I appreciate you.
It's been a pleasure meeting you, Mikey.
Thank you.
And I love your book, and I love your story, and I think you're going to do a great job as you get older.
Thank you. So really do appreciate that.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you. So thank you guys for watching this episode of the Realistic CEO podcast. See you guys in the next one. Peace.